one. So, welcome, Coach Razmig, to this interview. I'm happy to have you here in my interview, and I'm happy that you said yes when I asked you on LinkedIn. And yes, welcome. So, before we get started, I just want to quickly share why I'm doing this interview with you here today. So, as you know, I told you about my coaching business, that I'm about to build my coaching business right now. And I'm doing this YouTube channel, daily journals, and I've been sharing my experiences, my breakthroughs, my experiences while I'm doing this coaching program and building this coaching business, right? And I kind of like have this idea that I want to interview all the coaches I know that are impacting people right now in the community I know and in the community we were together, right? And that's why I had this idea, and I didn't know I wanted to have you in my interview at the first very person that I'm going to interview. And I saw you
I'm
on
honored.
LinkedIn. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I saw you on LinkedIn, and I was really, yeah, kind of like inspired by everything you're doing, everything you're sharing, all the videos, all yeah, I've learned through so much through your content as well. And I want to,
Mm.
yeah, I want to tell my audience a bit about you. So I know that you were an HT coach, or you are still an HT coach, right? And
Yes, I am.
we have done this high ticket closing. HTC 3.0 was the sequence that I joined. I know that you
Mhm.
joined earlier, and
Yes.
we were in this together. You were one of the coaches and were coaching us. And you also worked as a very successful closer. Um, you are still a closer, right? That's what
I
I,
am.
yes, you're
I am.
still.
Yes.
And from the LinkedIn post, I saw your development. Like now you have a really specific, let's say like an explanation what you're doing, right? Your
Mm.
unique selling point, and that is you help growth-minded entrepreneur unleash dormant business potential, international speaker, growth-minded architect, wizard of the high-ticket close, and entrepreneurs. And today I would like to find out like what exactly are you doing and how exactly are you contributing to your circle of influence and how you are giving out your values. And yeah, I'm happy that you're here today.
I'll be more than happy to share a little bit, a little update.
Hmm.
Now I'm also on the advisory council for Dan Locke for the coaches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that has always been one of my dreams when I started HTC certification back in 2019.
Okay.
And so now I'm meeting with one of the mentees that mentors, sorry, not mentees, but mentors that I wanted to get close close to on a
Yes.
monthly basis. So that's been very enriching, and I'd be more than happy to
Wow.
share what I'm doing. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. I didn't know that. That's really new. So
Mhm.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy to hear that. And I know you were when I was coachee of Sifu Dan. I was so happy to see you in those trainings and the values that you were giving out. Um, you were more like an someone for me who I know that we had one session of a role play together, and you always like gave me so good, let's say good, what's the word for that? Sorry, sometimes I think in German and then I have to translate that in English, and that is like, what's the word?
Tips, pointers,
Yes,
advice.
advice, golden nuggets, yes. and
Okay.
that's helped me a lot, like through my journey, right? During my transformation. And
I'm glad
yeah,
to hear it.
cool. All right. Then I have some questions for you today. So I'm going to start with the first question.
Yep. Let me get
To
comfortable. All right.
Yes, sure. Get
Go for it.
comfortable. Yes, me too. So I like standing more than sitting there because I'm moving my hands a lot, right? While I'm talking and
Uh-huh.
then yeah. All right. Cool. So the first question I would like to know is what specific incident inspired you to get started in your new business or in your business right now?
That's an interesting question. So I simply got tired of saying no to people that asked me to coach them. That's it. That's the only thing I said. People are asking me, so I guess
Yeah.
there's something there. I never thought there
Okay.
was something of value in what I was
Okay.
doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I said, enough is enough. Let me stop saying no. Let me start saying yes, and let's see where this leads. And that was the start of my business. Back
Awesome.
in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
December of 2022 is when I decided.
2022. Mm-hmm.
December of 2022, I decided that enough was enough. I didn't have an offer. I didn't have any pricing structure, anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, January 2023, I got my first customer.
Oh my God, that's such a dream of a as someone who aspired to be a coach, right? And but you kind of like being pushed by people who wanted you as a coach and then start asking you and start like getting on your nerves and then say, "Come on, coach me."
No,
Nice.
not getting on my nerves. It's more of me saying enough is enough, of just
Okay.
not allowing people, not helping people with my knowledge. Let me get started. Because I always dreamed of becoming a coach. What stopped
Ah,
me was I had a feeling that that was the direction I should go into. Oh,
okay.
it's been about 10 years,
Okay.
but I could never figure out the formula of turning it into a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, instead of start figuring out how to make it into a
Yeah.
business and then start coaching, let me start coaching and then figure out how to make it into a business. That's how I did. That's
Mm.
how I did it.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Mm.
Nice. And okay, so it was a specific topic, I think the people wanted you to coach on, right? And the next question would be like, why did you choose the business you were in? Like maybe we can go a little deeper, like we know what you're a coach, right? But what kind of coach? Like what are you teaching? What are you mentoring?
Oh my gosh. That was a hard question to answer. I struggled with that for over a year, trying to figure it out.
Wow.
And often I would get asked,
Mm,
"What do you do?" My answer would be, "I don't know. Let me see what I can help you with."
yeah.
And we'd have a half an hour conversation. And
Hmm.
after half an hour, I realized that the problems that people were thinking about solving
Hmm.
and the actual problems that were preventing them from moving forward were completely different.
Mm, hmm.
And
Hmm.
just identifying that, people that I spoke to would say, "That's exactly what I need. Help me." And that's
Mm,
how I started coaching.
hmm.
So
Hmm.
it slowly with the so here's the progression of how I developed my business.
Mm,
First decision one is I said, okay, I'm going to start coaching. Decision number one. Decision
hmm.
number two, I gave myself 2023 to do market research
Hmm.
and get paid for it. So a lot of coaches, the average for coaches, I'm told, is they struggle to make more than $30,000 a year.
Hmm.
Last year, I got paid over $30,000 to do market research and coach without any effort on my end. So
Wow.
that allowed me to clarify my positioning, my messaging, and what I help with. And the coaching that I do starts off with identifying the limiting beliefs and the mindset shifts that are required in order to bring value to what people already know. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
focusing on giving them more skills, I
Mm-hmm.
first start on helping them exploit the skills they already have. And
Mm-hmm.
then moving forward, give them the skills additionally in order to help them grow. So that's basically what my approach to coaching is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is also why that's making you unique as a coach in the market that you're in.
Yes, absolutely. Most of the coaching programs I hear and most of
Mm-hmm.
what the coaches that I've studied and analyzed do
Mm-hmm.
is they provide a technique,
Mm-hmm.
they talk about mindset, but they don't work on mindset.
Mm.
I do
Yeah.
the same thing, but I start off by helping people realize that their mindset and how they look at things
Mm-hmm.
is actually what's stopping them. It's not the knowledge that they're missing.
Ah, I see. I see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thinking, um, but reflecting my transformation, yeah, I saw that as well with me myself
Mhm.
or with other coaches that were trying to build coaching businesses. Yes. And okay, that means you having like your clients already by doing this market research and people were asking you, but how do you actually attract new people into your pipeline?
Up to now, I haven't even worked on that. All I
Really?
do is I haven't even worked on that. All I did was I have a message.
Yeah.
I want to start sharing a message. I
Mm-hmm.
want to clarify what my positioning, what my targeting, what my ideal client is.
Yeah.
So, in order to do that, I decided to start sharing what my thoughts were so that I would be able to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
And that right now has been bringing me clients. Another strategy that I have was uh, instead of trying to figure out where to go fish,
Mm-hmm.
I found an, a pond where the fish are already there, and I'm just positioning myself as a trusted advisor, somebody that knows, and they have been referring me customers. I haven't really put any effort into it other than trying to help aspiring entrepreneurs like you, Gigi. Just providing you with some help, advice, guidance.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I get solicited all the time, 2, 3, 4 times a week. I can't really keep up. So
Wow. Yeah.
that's how I've been. That's how I've been working. Now my
Mm-hmm.
goal is much bigger than this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My goal this year is to hit 100K, then double that every year till I hit
Awesome.
1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So last year was a year of market research and positioning. This
Mm-hmm.
year, I'm starting to create a messaging and off my offer still isn't clear, by the way. Uh, Clarify my offer so that I can start attracting new people. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting into place this year.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, the niche is more into sales, right? So your niche, would you say sales or would you distance from the word sales and mo go more into
No,
holistic?
no, but I would give you the context of what
Hmm.
sales means to me,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
where everybody is in sales.
Mm.
It's just we don't realize it. And
Mm-hmm.
sales is all about communication and transferring of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to say what I'm in, it's not sales because it's much more than what people think about when they talk about sales. It's
Mm-hmm.
communication, internal communication,
Mm-hmm.
external communication,
Mm-hmm.
and a transfer of energy that
Mm-hmm.
moves you in the direction of your goals.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
So
Interesting.
sales,
Mm-hmm.
as long as sales is defined in that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and that goes to answer your question. How do I track customers?
Yeah.
Is by my particular way of looking at things.
Yes,
People
yes,
find
yes.
that interesting.
Yes, definitely. I can agree. I can totally 100% agree to that because I am following you on LinkedIn and reading your
Oh, thank you.
messages. And all right, then I know that you're learning from Sifu Dan, right? He's one of your mentors, but um Would you consider, or let's ask you this way, like who are your mentors or coaches that you've learned from most?
Nice question. I like that. Um, well, until recently, this name didn't come up on the top of my list, but I just put him at the top of my list.
Hmm.
Number one was my father for
Mm.
how not to be an entrepreneur. I learned from the mistakes he made. So he was my first mentor. He showed me also a lot of good things about character and work ethic and all of those things.
Yeah.
But he was very good at creating money, but he's not very good at keeping money. So I learned from a lot of his mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Besides that, about sales, communication, and high ticket closing, Dan
Hmm.
Locke is my
Hmm.
mentor
Hmm.
for the last 4 years.
Hmm.
When I decided to start becoming a coach, Master Coach Alex, who developed the program.
Hmm.
And by the way, I wrote the playbook for the coaches with Master Coach Alex for Dan Locke.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Can you explain more what you did there? What was your role? And just a short, like for us to understand, like what you mean by that.
So the policies, the procedures, the guidelines, the communication, the email messages,
Mm-hmm.
how to coach, on what to focus on when you're
Mm-hmm.
coaching, what to role play on, all of those elements, a
Wow.
glossary of terms
Mm-hmm.
that was important to know, and
Mm-hmm.
how to structure the coaching sessions. That's a playbook. Um,
Wow.
so every organization needs to have a playbook in order to
Mm-hmm.
have consistency and repetition
Mm-hmm.
and duplication.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a project I was involved with. So I
Wow.
rallied the coaches that were interested,
Mm-hmm.
got them to help and assist and participate and add value to the playbook, and
Mm-hmm.
helped in and I'm still involved in keeping the playbook up to date and make edits to the playbook as I get feedback from the different coaches on in order to improve the program.
Mm. Nice. I love that.
Now, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get paid for that, but because my idea was I want to start my own coaching business, I said, hey, what better way to learn how to set up a coaching business by writing the system for one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the coaching field? So that's the reason why I did that.
Wow. Awesome. I'm so inspired and impressed by this because I know some of you some in some lessons you were talking about this. But I didn't know like what exactly was your contribution, like what did Coach Alex or Master Coach Alex mean by saying you had like this you're involved in this? I kind of like get to know that, but I didn't like know really what's your role, what did you do, and what exactly has to be done building this, right? And yeah, I have to say you did a great work with Master Coach Alex. It
Thank you.
That's changed my life. So I am so happy that I did that as well on top of the HTC closing. Yes. All right. Then let's go to the next question. When you realized that you were an influencer, when did you realize that you were an influencer in this industry?
I don't consider myself an influencer. I want to become an inspirer.
Ah,
To me, an
okay.
influencer is about the glamour, it's about the glitz, it's about showing off.
Mm,
My whole journey is about inspiring
mm-hmm,
individuals to express the power that has been suppressed
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and taking charge of their direction in life. And the reason um, why I'm like that is I don't like to work that hard. To be an influencer, you have to put on a persona, you have to
mm,
be fake, you have to
mm,
I hate that stuff. I
mm-hmm,
want to
mm-hmm,
be connecting with individuals one on one, heart
mm-hmm,
to heart,
mm-hmm,
and understand who they are and
mm-hmm.
help them bring up the best in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about me, it's about them. So I'm not an influencer. I never considered myself one. I don't aspire to become one,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to become an inspirer
Inspirer.
of human
Okay.
potential. Yeah.
So it sounded more like it's a quest for you, right? It's a life quest that you're doing this. Like it
It,
comes
it's a
naturally from
calling.
your
It's a calling. Yes.
calling. Yes, that's the right
It's a
word.
calling.
It's a
And
calling. Nice.
the one that inspired me to do that
Mm-hmm.
was my father, by the way I
Mm-hmm.
learned how not to be a father.
Mm.
And I changed completely how he raised me with the
Yeah.
way I raised my daughters, which scared him to hell, to high hell. But I said, just watch out where they're going. You'll see. You can't see the result right now, but they're going in the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
direction.
Okay.
And and after he realized when my daughters came into their own
Mm.
power,
Mm-hmm.
he was amazed and awestruck by what they were able to accomplish.
Mm. Okay.
So
Okay.
actually, my coaching journey started when my firstborn came into this world, if you
Really?
want. Yeah, that's when I decided to become not a father of do as I say, not as I do, but as
Yes.
a guide on knowing that I had to remove myself from their life so that they could
Mm.
become the best person that they could. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was the actual start of my coaching journey.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And would you, when you first having your first daughter, and would you say that you have to be like really aware of yourself? Like, what kind of values do you believe in? What kind of values do you want to transfer to your daughter? And that makes you like thinking, reflecting yourself in order to give her the right growth and experience and values, right? Would you say that happened to
It's
you automatically?
it's it's more than that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not accepting the way I was raised as necessarily the best way, but analyzing and looking at what is the consequence of how I was raised,
Mm,
where it got me, what I liked, what I didn't like,
mm-hmm.
how would I, and thinking deeply and researching how I would help my children do
Mm-hmm.
better than me.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where it came from, and that created the self-awareness in me to change the perspective of which
Mm-hmm.
on which I looked at being a parent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
So that's where it all started.
Okay. So your daughter was your first coachee, let's say.
Yes, yes,
So little baby. Nice.
yes.
Okay. All right. Wow. It's so inspiring. I don't have a child, a baby, whatever. I'm still like, I was, of course, I think to ha maybe have a family as well later, but
Mhm.
I'm so sure that when you have a baby or a child to look after, you kind of like change from the core again, and then um you have to be a leader. You have to be a teacher, a mentor somehow. If you are like someone who wants aspire to be a good father, a good mother, right? Then you kind of like probably go automatically in this role, I think.
No, you don't actually,
Mm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
because the condition changes,
Mm-hmm.
but unless you change your identity and
Mm.
the mindset with which you're gonna fulfill that role,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna repeat what was done to you and continue in the same way. If you really want to become a better um, parent, a better guide, a better friend,
Mm-hmm.
it's understanding what the role was of your parent,
Mm-hmm.
what your role was as a child,
Mm.
what is the identity you want to have, and what is the role, what is the intention behind becoming a parent,
Mm-hmm.
and being very intentional about that
Mm-hmm.
and making a conscious decision of changing that identity or adopting the right identity so you can get the right outcome.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Nicely said, yeah. Mm. Wow. Thank you so much. Um,
And
mhm.
quickly, I'll explain what I mean by that.
Yeah.
My father was more of a boss to me than a father, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a life plan set out for me, which
Mm-hmm.
was all working fine and dandy for him,
Mm-hmm.
but he never asked me what I wanted. He never explored what my power was, what
Mm-hmm.
my nature was, and
Mm-hmm.
everything was fine and dandy. I wasn't happy, but I had a good life as long as he was in charge. When he made a mistake and he had a setback, I had
Mm-hmm.
a I found myself uh, completely lost, and I lost 30 years of my life because of that. So I vowed not to make the same mistake, and I decided to figure out how I would make it different, so
Mm-hmm.
that instead of my children following me,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them first to become self-aware and self-sustaining and good citizens,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of resenting me,
Mm-hmm.
wanting me to be part of their life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the decision I made. So from the moment they were born, all I
Mm-hmm.
did, I acted from the point of view that they wouldn't need me tomorrow.
Mm.
Instead, my father raised
Wow.
me so that I needed him every single day, and that was one of the elements that I decided to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Can learn a lot from this. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, really. Um, all right. We came a little bit out of this
Out
question,
of the
but
subject,
it's
but
necessary.
I
Yes,
wanted to put into context. You asked me why I started, how I become the coach, and
exactly.
that gives you the foundation of my side
Okay.
of my style of coaching.
Yes. Wow, I really appreciate that for being so open and sharing this with us because I know um yeah, it's sometimes it's really hard to I mean from myself, I speak from myself when I share some of my private things, right? Um I had like would say like 1 year ago I had like difficulties to share that because it was unspoken. It's something I kept that for me. But when I went into this HCC, I started more and more like giving out the story of me, and it's better. I'm not crying anymore if I'm thinking of it, or the emotions get less, and then I can tell about my story. Yeah, thank you for very much, Coach Rasmig.
My pleasure.
So, but I still like wanted to know, like this is out of the questions that I prepared, but I wanted to know, like when you think back, I mean, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when you get started, what would you say to someone who's now starting this journey, who's now discovering him herself, um, that they kind of like had this urge inside, this calling inside as well to be a coach, to be a mentor, and to help other people and transform other lives?
So before I answer that question, let me
Hmm.
finish answering the previous question.
Okay.
So I spoke about Dan Locke, I spoke about my father, I spoke about
Mm-hmm.
Master Coach Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right now, I have taken on a new mentor, which is helping me become a public speaker
Mm-hmm.
and a high worth networker, which is
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Kai. So I'm working with Christopher Kai as my mentor for that particular aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working with multiple mentors, but those four are the major ones that I've adopted, if you want.
Yeah.
Now, for someone that's thinking or starting off in the coaching journey, I would say believe in yourself. You have a gift. The school system, your parents, with all the love that they had for you, they didn't know any better. The school system is designed to not help you discover that, and they're
Mm.
designed to create drones to get a job. I
Mm.
believe the future of jobs is in peril,
Mm-hmm.
especially particular industries. So I would say have the courage to realize and believe that you do have a skill, a gift
Mm-hmm.
that is born in you. Explore that, find a guide that will help you bring that out, and forget about knowing everything before you start monetizing your coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
If you've decided to that you want to be a coach, explore it. Start coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and then things will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Find a system, find someone that has already achieved what you're trying to make happen,
Mm-hmm.
and follow their lead. That's how I started. That's how I learned how to ski in a week. I watched. I
Mm-hmm.
put on skis and I started doing things that people said I wouldn't be able to do. That's how I learned. That's how I got certified as a ice diver. We had a weekend to certify. Everybody was doing little bits and pieces. I said, no, no, I'm not ready. I watched throughout the whole weekend and I did what
Wow.
people did in 2 days in one
Yes.
session. And no one believed me. So just dive in, believe in yourself, go for it. Just find a guide that's going to show you the example and don't ask questions. Just do it. Just
Just
go for
do
it.
it.
Just do
Okay.
it.
Awesome. I
And
like it. Yeah.
make the mistakes. The mistakes are not as bad as the school system leads you to believe. Mistakes are the best way for you to learn and accelerate forward. So if you take, don't look to make mistakes, but
Mm-hmm.
if you do make a mistake,
Yeah.
don't shy away from it. Make the mistake with the intention of learning and growing and improving. That's that's what
Wow.
I want to say. When I wrote the playbook for Dan Locke with
Yes.
Master Coach Alex, I had
Yes.
never done that. But because I knew that it was going to help me grow my business, I said, I'll do it right away. I didn't even ask questions. I figured it out afterwards. And Master
Wow.
Coach Alex said that is the best playbook that he's ever collaborated and prepared. So
Awesome. How long did it t take you to write this specific playbook?
the playbook, it took actual writing, it took 3 months.
Uh-huh.
Um, but making sure Master Coach Alex was okay with it and all the different aspects, it took another 9 months to make sure that, and I had to push
Yeah.
to get it out to everyone so they could start using it. So
Uh-huh.
and I cheated. I made it available without asking for permission.
And would you say that you can teach it as well? Like if someone needed like consulting or something on that while he's building his business, coaching business.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I can
Okay.
definitely help them. Yeah.
Mm. Awesome.
As a matter of fact, as we're talking,
Mm.
I've decided to certify as a high ticket copywriter, high income copywriter.
Ah,
So I started that. So my
cool.
skills weren't too bad, but now
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be even better in copywriting. Not that I want to become a copywriter, but
Yeah.
I want to understand what copy is all about. So
What is it all about? Yeah. We cannot escape it. I think as an entrepreneur, we also have to know that.
remember, I am not in sales.
Mm.
I am in communication. So I
Yes.
want to
Yes.
master the written communication form as well, which is copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So continue to our questions. So the next question would be, where do you prefer to have your followers connect with you on social media? Like I see you on LinkedIn, but are there others that you prefer?
So right now, I spend zero time on social media, by the way. I've
Okay.
delegated that because I hate doing that. But
Okay.
so I am on Instagram. I share stories on Instagram.
Mm,
I am on YouTube,
mm-hmm,
and I am on LinkedIn. The best way to communicate with me,
mm-hmm.
so to get to know me, you can use any of those platforms, but to communicate with me, LinkedIn would be ideal.
LinkedIn would be ideal. Awesome. I thought
LinkedIn would be
so
ideal.
because there's where I am daily as well, and I see you posted everything, and I think social media, like Instagram, is more like entertainment. I mean, people like Dan Log or you, other coaches, they need it as well. But the folks there, I don't know if it's, I don't know if in your experience with that, if you get a lot of
So here's the way I look at social media. For
yeah.
me, Instagram is like creating the spark of interest.
Ah, mm-hmm.
And if you want to get more details, then you would go into YouTube,
Mm,
which would uh, create more of an inspiration to
mm,
dive deeper into the subject.
mm-hmm,
LinkedIn is more about how to, that's the way I approach it. It doesn't necessarily
mm-hmm,
mean that it's the right way, but that's the
mm-hmm.
way how I
But
approach
it
it.
makes
Is
sense.
more of a business
Mm-hmm,
business conversation,
mm-hmm,
and it's my first
mm-hmm,
website.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Everything there is up to date with my background, what I've done, different testimonials and everything. And from there, it gets more personal, and you get it into in contact with my website, with me directly. There's the possibility of making an appointment with me off of LinkedIn. So that's the progression that I see. But the if you want to get in touch with me, I would say LinkedIn would be the ideal platform.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I'm the only one. If you type in Razmig Malkhassian, I'll be the only one showing
You're
up.
the only one. Yes,
I'm the
I
only one.
can kind of sure. Cool. And okay, then who are the three people you like to connect but haven't yet?
So these are
Hmm.
aspirational names.
Yeah.
One would be Elon Musk,
Mm.
because I want to understand how he creates businesses out of nothing,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
how the ideas that he come up to are transformational.
Hmm.
Richard Branson,
Hmm.
because he's a very flamboyant person, but is a genius at creating licensing agreements and joint ventures with
Hmm.
people. That's the reason why I'd like to connect with him. And the
Hmm.
third one is Robert Kiyosaki, because
Oh.
he's very good at investment
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
and understanding the dynamics of how you make money and how money works. So
Hmm.
those are the
Hmm.
three people I would love to connect.
Okay, cool. And have you I'm sure that you have it, but I'm just wanted to know that have you also like read the book of Elon Musk, for example? Like already because I was having this book and I didn't know like the first, let's say the first pages or the first, they didn't really catch me, but I don't know, like people are so into Elon Musk, but I don't know how to be inspired or to what could motivated me to read this book. Can you maybe have some tips on that? Why you are inspired to meet him, to want to meet him or connect with
The
him?
reason is because he's very non-traditional.
Mm-hmm.
He's a maverick in that he transforms industries.
Mm-hmm.
Every industry he's touched, it's been a completely different angle that transformed it. When he
Mm.
started PayPal, when he started Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
when he then went into the Cybertruck, then SpaceX, and now Cyberlink, the roofing. He's just he wants to stir the pot and change the way things are, and he's very successful at it. I haven't read his book.
Mm.
I just judge him by his accomplishments.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
inspires me to want to meet him.
Okay, okay. Okay, great. Yes. Okay.
He's, from what I hear, he's not a very pleasant person. I don't care, but he's got some very interesting ways of looking at life
Yes.
and doing things that
Yes.
are I find very inspiring.
Yes, yes.
I try to learn from everybody. Like, remember I said my dad was not on my list of mentors,
Yes.
and I was hurting myself because I always resented him for
Yeah.
what situation. But then when I started thinking about how could I learn from it,
Yeah.
the situation completely changed. That was very helpful to me.
Okay.
So I try to
Yes.
learn from everybody.
Yes. Don't have to necessarily like that person, but if they have like a very good skill, then you can learn from them. Mm.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So, what's your lifetime goal you want to achieve most? Would be the next question, Coach Rasnik.
So my lifetime aspiration
Mm-hmm.
is to have a global movement, not a business, not a mission, not a movement
A
where
movement.
I've
Okay.
inspired a million entrepreneurial minded people to actually take the leap.
I like that. Yes. Okay. And what's the biggest mistake you've made in the business that has delayed your goal? Like that question.
I love that question. The biggest mistake I've ever made was allowing my father
Mm-hmm.
to dictate the direction my life would take, and then rebelling against that and losing another 30 years of my life as a lone wolf. That's the biggest mistake I find in my life, becoming a lone wolf.
Mm. Like 30 years dictated by your dad, and after that, after rebelling, then
So when I decided to go on my own
mm,
and leave the family business,
mm-hmm,
I went through 5 stages of mourning, uh, of of dealing with trauma. I went through the 5 stages. First, I got
oh,
angry, then I got depressed, then I didn't trust anybody. Then I
oh, I
started
see.
feeling, so I went through all of those. And by
Mm.
being a lone wolf,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
took me 30 years to finally figure out. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I so when I say lone wolf, is
Mm.
my father was my not only my mentor but my hero. And
Mm-hmm.
when I felt that he let me down, I
Mm-hmm.
lost trust in everybody, and I thought I
Mm-hmm.
could only trust myself.
Oh,
And
okay,
it took
okay.
30 years for me to realize that the success I was looking for was outside of my sphere of awareness. And
Mm.
finally, that lesson, it took 30 years for me to understand that I needed to find the person to help me. So
Mm-hmm.
the biggest mistake was trying to do it on my own for 30
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, like it. Um, and what would you say, what's the biggest lesson you learned after making that mistake? Like,
Uh, the biggest lesson that I
mm,
learned from that was to trust my inner child. My 7-year-old
mm,
me was watching television, watching people ski down the hill, and said, I want to be a skier. I want to do that. I got the Christmas present with the skis and the boots and all of that that
mm,
winter.
mm-hmm,
By the end of the season, I was already skiing. And that's because I was following other people that were better than me and faster than me. As I grew up and the conditioning that I had in school, I
mm,
forgot to trust my inner child. So trust
mm.
the inner child.
Wow, I love it. Yes. Wow, I see some of I have to also when you tell me this I reflected on my life and I had this first mentor, she was also telling me to to trust my inner child and to go back into the past and to connect with my inner child again and see what she's thinking right now and what she really wants and how she was at that time, like without any people writing on her hard disk on her you know what I mean, right? On her
Mhm.
blueprint. And now you're telling the same thing, like connecting to your inner child and trusting your inner child. Wow, love that.
Mhm.
Okay. And the last question is there an important question you wanted to answer, but I failed to ask?
Interesting. I was thinking about that one, by the way. Um, and and the and the question that I would have loved for you to ask me
Mhm.
was why mindset?
Ah, why
Why
mindset?
why start with mindset?
Okay. And why you started with mindset?
Well, the reason, and I've also been thinking about the answer, obviously. The reason is the following. When you start off by taking on a new skill
Mhm.
before you adjust your mindset, you don't understand why you're doing it. You make mistakes, you get discouraged, you, and unless you're guided and you're helped and you're nurtured, you give up and you think, okay, this is a failure. But when you change the mindset, all of a sudden the things you focus on and how you look at things changes,
Mhm.
and you make room and you understand why you are taking certain actions.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example.
Mhm. Mhm.
Since I've been in business,
Mhm.
I've never, at least I believe that I never got influenced by advertising. And I never believed in advertising and I never understood the importance of advertising. I never
Mhm.
gave it importance.
Mhm.
And when I changed the identity from going from, okay, I'm providing coaching services to, okay, now I want to become a global inspiration for people to become entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
I started thinking, how can I become better at it? How can I make it faster? How can I make it easier? And without going into marketing,
Mhm.
I realized the importance of marketing. And now that I know why is important, I'm making space in my life for putting out content, thinking about content, the type of content I want to share with the type of person I want to inspire. So instead of just sharing what I feel, I am now sharing more targeted and specific content. That's why you start with mindset,
Mhm.
because it gives you purpose, it gives you the intention, it gives you a reason why instead of just doing it willy-nilly without any
Mhm.
rhyme or reason.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the reason.
Wow. That just came naturally from you. Nice. I love that. Wow, I learned a lot through this interview. Thank you so much for sharing all these golden nuggets. So it was a
My pleasure.
lot of golden nuggets, a lot of story that we can learn from. And you also gave like the idea for someone who is just going to start a business like me, um, what to emphasize on, what to focus on, and what's really important for this journey to know. Um, yeah, we're at the end of this interview. I have no more questions.
Okay.
I wanted to really appreciate, or I'm very happy that you were open to do this interview with me, and I just want to say thank you again here at this place, and I hope
It's been an honor for me.
thank you, and I hope the listeners can also find it inspiring and learn it. And if they want to contact with you, I will put the link, maybe a LinkedIn link, so under my video, so people can maybe connect with you directly when they seen this interview and they got interested to know more about you. Yeah.
Sure. Uh, I would encourage you to put my YouTube channel as well and my
Mhm.
Instagram channel as well. If that's where they want to start with, by all
Mhm.
means, they can start there. Uh,
Yes, right.
I'll provide you those links so that you
Yeah,
can do that
that would
if
be
you feel like
great.
putting that. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
absolutely.
great. So we are also then they can just click on the link and then they know they consume your content as well. So, okay, Coach Rasmig, is there anything you want to
Now,
say? before we
Yes,
go?
one last word before we go.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you for that, Gigi. It's been an honor for me. I am sharing what I feel, what I think, and I don't have an agenda other than inspiring people, and I share what I share from the mistakes I've made,
Mm,
from the lessons I've learned, and it's things that I have put into application and know that that work. And I hope that your listeners that decide to connect with me don't just consume my content, but
mm-hmm.
interact with me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want this to become another distraction for them. I want this to
Mm,
become an inspiration for them.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And spark something in their soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice, nice. Okay. So thank you very much. Then I'm going to end this and yeah, hope to connect with you and see you sometimes, maybe in Canada
Or in Germany.
or in Germany. If you come back to Germany, then please let me know. I live
Absolutely.
near Frankfurt, so for you, I didn't know if I don't know if I told you this. Frankfurt am Main, so it's the hub in Germany actually where people turn and change
Interesting.
planes.
Frankfurt is the airport. Yeah.
Yeah. I live
By the
10
way,
minutes from the airport.
did you know that German was the first language I ever learned?
I kind of like know, yes, but can you speak German?
A little bit, a little bit,
What
a couple of
can you?
words here. And there. I
Yeah.
was 1 year old when I learned German, and
Ah,
then we left Germany when I was not even 2 years old. So I was starting
okay.
to speak, but that was the first language I learned
Oh, so sad you
in
didn't continue.
in Wolfsburg, in
In
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
yeah. So
okay,
it's a
great.
little further east than Frankfurt. So, anyways, that's another thing. So that's neither here nor there, but I thought you'd be interested in knowing.
Yes, yes, sure. Yeah, just let me know if you're here and then we can have dinner or coffee and all right. Okay, I'm going to end this right now.
Hmm?
So thanks for watching.